Welcome to the night where we light up the spark. We're trading crypto, finance, you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dark, I shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trends, see future in sight. It's markets after dark, live financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge be showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the mother lode. Economic loops and the way the dollar flows. Community vibes where everybody grows.
Good evening, and welcome to Markets After Dark, where we go mad on the charts Sunday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, depending on how you view the markets. Here at MAD, we view the markets as if the next day has already started, because it has when it comes to the markets. Thank you all for being here. It is Macro Monday. Ooh, we got some big stuff to look at. Got a lot of charts to go through. Got some pretty cool, unique stuff to go over and look at. And yep, kind of see where we are in the cycle, how much longer we have to go. Is the economic data going to destroy us? I don't know. Starting off the week with a little bit of a sell-off. We'll get into some of the SPY, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, of course, Bitcoin, and a lot of Bitcoin. And then maybe some other stuff. Dixie, all that good jazz. But before we get started, let's go ahead and bring you guys up what is going on, everybody. What? I can't even read that. Oh, I think it cleared up. What's going on? Let's say good evening to the beautiful people. What's going on? Indie Rock Crypto alumni. Hey, mad love Indie Rock Crypto. Final dip's about done. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe for Bitcoin? We'll see. Let's see. We've got, or altcoins rather, I should say, not Bitcoin. We've got RS Miller up in here. Uh-oh. I'm getting a little bit of a lag. Come on now. Oh. I don't know what that was. All right. So tax time closing in. Ooh. Yeah, it's usually a good time to sell is right around when tax time ends, because people just start throwing their tax money into the market. So it's a perfect opportunity for market makers, the institutions, to sell because there's so many people buying. But yes, good evening to you, RS Miller. Link needs to hold the 0.16 line. Yep. All set. What's going on? All set. How are you doing? Average Crypto Joe says, "What's up, Alexandra? I've never seen this show." Well, I thought you've been here before, Average Crypto Joe, but maybe not. But glad you're here. Thank you for joining. I think I said all set. Alexandra G, the mod queen in the house. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Retro Mike Tech. Robert Mulligan. All of you beautiful people. Thank you all for being here on this beautiful Sunday night. Who's winning the game right now? Last I saw, it was tied up. Who we got? Still tied up, maybe going into overtime. Oh, they're at the Tampa Bay 19. Uh-oh, they're going to kick a field goal to win it. There's 3 seconds left on the clock. Uh-oh. What is going on, Trey Spot? Peace to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Let's go ahead and get into some charts. Field goal. Here we go. About to find out. All right, so I've got the ES up here. That is your SPY futures. 23-20, Washington wins. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Of course, I say wow, but I called it. So I got all the games right, all the playoff games right this weekend. Well, we still have one more tomorrow night, Minnesota, which was moved to Las Vegas, or Phoenix rather. It was moved to Phoenix because of the fires in California, which seem to have shifted and are is causing even more damage from my understanding. So, my heart goes out to everybody affected by the fires in California, and yeah, just whatever. If there's any kind of, if you see anything to where you can donate or help in any way, please, please do. And yeah, because I know that everybody over there in California would greatly appreciate it. So, regardless of your politics or how you feel about the state, doesn't matter. These are real people with real lives, real families, and yeah, just they need help. So, and that's all that really matters. But anyway, what's going on, Jay Violet? I see you showing up here in the chat. What's going on? I hope you're doing well. All right, so I've got the ES up. We can see we're starting the week off with the sell-off. This is on the daily chart. We can see we've been trending down for quite some time. Something that I do want to go over is this Chart Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. Something that I have done. You can tell that it looks a little different than when you first get it. Let me go ahead and save this as my default. Okay, so when I load this back up, it'll go back to this as the default. Now I'm going to go to reset settings so you can see what it looks like when you first turn it on. I said reset settings. There we go. So this is what it looks like when you first turn on the indicator. Check out Chart Prime, link in the description down below, 45% off your first month. But we've got the power bar, we've got reversal signals, we've got divergences, volume matrix. I just decided to remove a lot of it. I was having trouble seeing the True 7. So I kind of changed the True 7 a little bit to where I could see it, and also took out some of the other noise. So I'll come over here and turn this back on to where it has my settings in there. Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. And now we can see the cleaner, a little bit cleaner, and changed the True 7. So the True 7 is now columns. And I've also brightened up the, the oversold, overbought, oversold lines, overbought, oversold lines, and the zero line. Made them thicker. So you just click on the indicator, go to the settings, go to style, and then on zero line, this is how you can make it thicker. I made the top rank thickest it can be. Made it all, if these weren't lines, I made them lines. And then with rank, this is your True 7. I changed it from a line to columns. So now I can see, now they really stick out, and I can see when it really tops and bottoms, which is key for when you're trying to spot tops and bottoms, because if we come over here, we can see they get super bright and they hit that upper threshold. And that tells me, okay, we're looking for a potential reversal from here because we have topped here. And then our trend fusion comes down and comes up. And at this time, that means that on the daily chart, we have this bearish divergence that plays out, that gets called right there after we've topped here on our True 7. Our money flows coming in, topping here as our trend ribbon is creating a lower high and price is creating a higher high. That is classic bearish divergence. And then we see the rollover right after that. And where does it go? It aims for that internal range low inside this move here. So it comes down to sweep that internal range low, come up, consolidate, and then break out to new highs. So what's it doing here? So the market is pulling back to grab liquidity, buy orders, and then shifting to the upside so that it can sell at a higher price. Oh, Piper, I'm gonna get into that because I saw your tweet and I saw the flopping gropers tweets, and I'm gonna get into that. I've pointed that out 2 weeks ago, right here on Markets After Dark. I pointed out the monthly bearish divergence that was playing out. And yeah, but hey, if you don't watch the show, how could you possibly know that? I was already looking at it. Shout out to you, Army Piper. Hope you're doing well. Thought the sign at the front door said no bears allowed. I don't know. Think you read the wrong signs. But with that said, we can go ahead and go over to the Bitcoin chart. We can see, so I do think that the ES is heading for potentially this gap here in this session gap. I get up at 5:45 every day. You know, it's funny. I do too. That's funny. And I'm an hour ahead of you. Anyways, so yeah, I do think we get down to this gap here. The low on this candle right here was 5675.25. So I could definitely see price coming down here. We have these equal lows down here. Equal lows love to get swept. So at the very least, I do think we come down into this gap. And then potentially we see the S&P start to rise, right? And then I think this is when everything kind of falls apart all at the same time. Bitcoin might top before that because Bitcoin usually tops before the major stock indices. It usually bottoms before, and it usually tops before, or I think it's after. It usually bottoms after and then tops before. So the bull runs are extended. I'm 52. When I was your age, I was running 48-hour ops on follow-on strikes with no days off for 12 to 15 months. I've earned my sleep, young buck. Why are you getting offended, bro? Don't get offended. We gotta take jabs at each other. Oh, look, how did I nail the golden pocket? Like, what is this? What is this? All right, so ES, more downside coming this week. Likely, I would say. At the very least, some bearish consolidation. I would think before it would continue down and then potentially move to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at for the ES. Let's go ahead and go over here to Bitcoin. Take a look at the Bitcoin chart. I had the head and shoulders built out on here. With this potential bounce coming up here to about $99,000. I do have a lot of data suggesting that we will make this push up to about 98 or 99,000, maybe just below it, before we ultimately roll over and head lower. So I hope you had a nice weekend. Maybe a Band-Aid. What's going on? Melissa, what's going on? One Love, how you doing? How you doing? Hope you're well. I'm older than you, Army Piper, says R.S. Miller. All right, so we can see that we do have this monthly fair value gap that I have been eyeing up for quite some time now. Meow. And yeah, I think we do get down into it. So I do believe that if we have any bullishness to start this week, it is going to end up pretty much just like last week. And we ultimately end up rolling over and heading to the downside. I'm thinking a minimum target of $82,000 minimum. Just what I'm thinking. Trade intuition in the house. What's going on? So it's not looking good to me. We do have our trend ribbon trending below the zero line. We also have the true 7 below the zero line, and our money flow coming down, coming to the downside. And this is on the daily chart. So, and we did get a little bit of a topping indicator here on our true 7, and we got another one right here. And we also got that bearish divergence in here that could have potentially already played out with this move down here. And this is on the daily, so that is a good possibility that particular divergence has played out. However, we have not shown much strength since then that would suggest that we are going to go higher. So I am just looking for a short-term bounce to the upside. Now let's go to my Blowfin perp chart where I have all of my other data. Hit the likes. Thank you. Good night, all. See you in the morning. Got my bear costume ready. See you in the morning, Army Piper. Hope you have a good night's rest and that you come ready tomorrow to give us all of the bearish news. What's the opposite of the gospel? Bring us the bad news. All right, so we bringing up my stacked orders. So I've shown you guys the stacked orders before from the volume footprints chart. I went ahead over the weekend and just marked off all the stacked orders that I could see, and just labeled them. So we have 1 hour stacked orders, stacked sells, 3 hour stacked sells. All the red are stacked sells. The one green, there's a few greens below us. Those are stacked buy orders, just meaning that there are orders here stacked up that didn't get filled. So we have stacked buys up here and we have some stacked sells up here. This is where I think we ultimately end up, is back up here to this about 98.9 right here. So we have these 1 hour stacked sells. So the interesting thing about that is if I bring up the liquidation heat map, we can see on the weekly chart, if it wants to act right. Come on. Come on. Are you okay? Do I need to refresh you? Let's refresh it. See what's going on. Bullish bargain bear. There you go, the triple B. I'm a bullish bear. So that's just when you're bullish long term, bearish short term. Trying to make this to where you can see it. There we go. Would you act right? Thank you. All right, so right here is where we have the biggest heat on this map. What are you doing? Okay, cool. That's exactly what I was looking for. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, the biggest heat is pretty much exactly where I was showing you where all those stacked orders are. That's 95, 96, 98. If I gotta go to the week chart. I don't know why it just went to the 24 hour. But anyway. Right there, about $108 million worth of liquidations up here at $98,912. So that is why I thought that was interesting to see, and why I thought I should point that out, because that heat map is also exactly where these 1 hour stack sells and these 3 hour stack sells are. So I do think that we could potentially see a move up early in the week to get up there. And then, or maybe this week we're just bullish, and then we ultimately roll over. We'll see. We'll see. We do have 4 hour stacked sells down here. Now, the reason why I like looking at these is because, all right, so these are stacked sells, and there's a bunch of them. It's pretty big zone. The reason why I like this is because this, so if we have a large zone of stacked sells, then we know that the market maker is likely to try and push price down there because they want to be able to buy up at the lowest price within a range. So I think that we will likely chop around in this range longer than people expect, but this range will end up being a topping range potentially for the year, but at least for like the first quarter. I'll go further into detail on that. So we did just put in on the lower time frames some equal highs up here. We kind of swept this high, but it's an internal range high, so I'm not really concerned about that sweep. And we're holding price up here at the 0.236, which is fine. What I like is that we essentially have some equal highs all setting up right here, which suggests to me that we could see price move to mitigate those highs or take them out, to clear them, and then potentially head up to that these stack sell orders all up in this area. I think starting to sell at 98 all the way to 99.5, maybe even 100K again. Think that would be a great time to sell, essentially anywhere in this zone. 98.4 to 104. So that's what I'll be looking at for upside, potential upside, and then from there I would expect us to come down and sweep these lows at the very least. Let's go ahead and go to the index chart. I want to go over what Piper was talking about. Let's go to the index chart. Let's go to the monthly. All right, so what Piper was talking about. Let's get rid of that fib. And let's get rid of this oscillator in particular. And let's bring up, so he shared it was a market cipher type deal. So but we don't use market cipher here on the Piper Academy Network. I mean, maybe we do. I don't know. I don't use market cipher. There's nothing wrong with it, to my understanding. But I'm just saying. All right, so they were pointing out how, all right, so at least on the RSI, yeah, monthly RSI putting in bearish divergence. And I can go to a whole bunch of oscillators like the RSI that are putting in the same thing. Let's go find another one. Let's find another one. Let's do RSI primed, primed RSI primed. Do we have the same deal going on right here? High, lower, high. Now this one, however, let's see, this one to this one, that was a bearish divergence, and we got about 6 months of bearishness. But then we came up and look, we've actually poked above this line right here, signaling a potential breakout. And we got the breakout, and now we're just kind of hovering above. But if we come over here, we can see that we are putting in a technically, we can say that we're putting in a bearish divergence. It's not good. However, big caveat here, enter here, okay? We can still go higher from here. And I think we will go higher from here. The only question for me is, will we get a pullback into that monthly fair value gap that I've been pointing out right here? Will we get into that, get a little bit of a pullback, and then push higher? I think yes. That is where I get that 82,000 from, because that is the midpoint of the monthly fair value gap. The reason I find that significant is we can go to this previous monthly fair value gap. That whole thing got filled. But if we go to the 3 month, it got straight down to this 3 month fair value gap right here, straight down to the midpoint right here, and then took off. And the 3 month, aka the quarterly, let's bring this down over here from where this candle closed, and then come to over here to where this candle closed. And yeah, bearish divergence on the quarterly. So I can still see more upside though, with the potential of short-term downside. I'm still thinking short-term downside, but overall upside until we do meet our cycle top. Bit innuendo. ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? Hope you are doing well. Hope that leg up before the inauguration is a major move, and I do think that if we do get a leg up during the Trump inauguration, that leg up could potentially be a sell the news event. I know Piper's been talking about that, and I tend to agree with him. Now, some new indicator that I just found that I think is pretty cool that I'll go ahead and share for you guys. Let's see. I found this earlier. J1 Wyckoff schematics. I want to check out this one too. So with this, let's see, we go from the time start to time end, and then the up price, and then the down price, and then it'll fit you on a whole Wyckoff schematic all on its own. We can double click this, go to inputs, and you can change this to the second type of distribution schematic. And you can change this to the accumulation schematic, the main accumulation schematic, and the second accumulation schematic. So pretty freaking neat indicator that I just found today, because I wanted to look at, the Wyckoff schematic, because I wanted to see how we were looking in regards to current price and that Wyckoff schematic. Now, something that I could see playing out. Let's bring this up a little bit. I do want to make this just right with the current price action. So all of these all right, so here, this is your buyer's climax, meaning this was the last push up before you get the correction to the downside. We've got to push down What is seller top? What is the ST? Um, oh, secondary test. That's a secondary test of the buyer's climax. So let's bring this down so we can make sure we get the very bottom of that candle right there. All right, so we could say that this was our secondary test, okay? And then this push down right here would be our sign of weakness. Now, potentially we could see a move up going into the inauguration. This is called the up thrust, UT. Come down, recheck the lows down here. And then this is distribution. This is the last up thrust after distribution. That's what UTAD stands for. Then you get this last bit of distribution to the downside. Last point of seller something. Last point of seller or supply. Last point of supply down here. Sign of weakness. Rollover. So it's just kind of crazy to me how that all kind of does line up a little bit. Now, if we double click on this, change this to the second scale, we can see we get the up thrust, and then we come up and we fail to take that high, and then we roll over. So that's essentially the only differences between the two. This would suggest that we would put in another new high, and then we could roll over. And on this one would suggest that we put in another high, 113,000, and then push and then roll over. Now, this is all more for market structure. That's all that I really care about. So we do get the buyer's climax. We could come up to the psychological level. That's what this one is right here. That's going to be your $100,000. Then you have your buyer's climax, the pullback, and then come up for a secondary test. Now the pullback took a little bit longer, and then we came up for that secondary test. Or there's even a chance that we haven't even put in that secondary test yet. But if we come up here, take out this high, then we need to look to see if we come back down into the range. And if we do, then this Wyckoff schematic could be playing out. So just something for us to keep an eye on. I will leave this on my chart to reference it for the future. Now, zooming out, if I turn it back on, we can see that it's kind of just a back test of this breakout. Hello? Okay. Look at that. Right down. Downtrending resistance, flip it into support, and then go. Potentially. This is in May. May push up? Maybe. It all depends on which part of this cycle, this potential distribution schematic that we are in. Are we in it like this, or are we more in it like this? Let's scoot this over. Like this. Because we can already kind of see, if I can get this just right. Right there. It's kind of similar, not really. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. But either way, I think it's likely that we do see some downside before we start turning back to the upside. Now, some cool charts that I wanted to go over tonight. This is on the charts.bitbo.io. Let me see here. Am I going to have to move myself? Maybe. Maybe I just need to do this and do this. There we go. All right, so this is a pretty cool website here. It's got a lot of indicators and all kinds of stuff on it. I'll go through it right now. I love astrology for women. I love astrology for men. Very rare alignment. Alignment of 7 planets happen on 21. Oh, cool. Can you align the chart? Can you align that chart to the 21st? Huh? Line it up to where this is the 20 or the 21st? January 21st, right there. The top, the top, the top. Sell the news. All right, now. Dead air. I got a shock mount for my mic and a pop guard that are coming in the mail soon. So that's cool. Let's go back to the daily. So if we line up the top with the 21st and then we come down, I mean, yeah. Where's this low over here? Right there. There we go. I mean, somewhat similar, yeah. Now, what if we change the distribution schematic? I'd say that's a lot closer. How about that? How's that look? So, could we see this? The answer is always yes, because anything can happen. So this is kind of what I would be looking for on Bitcoin. And let's see, let's bring up Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. Bring that back up. We can see question is, are we going to get that pop-up that keeps us up in this range before we head lower? I like the other schematic. Here we go. So sell the news, and there's the news. This has us ending the dump in February, which would not be out of the question for Bitcoin. What is this? This is my yearly anchor, my yearly VWAP. So potentially, let's see, we don't have anything down here. This is last year's VWAP, anchored VWAP. And if that was to keep coming across here, then we could definitely see us come down and tag last year's yearly VWAP. Let's change this to decade. Let's see what happens. So if we change it to the decade instead of the year, that would get us between these two bands. So, maybe not so much. This is the index chart, so it has all the information that it needs. But we'll see. We'll see once we get to that point. All right, let's turn that off. Why do you have the band fills on? That's what I want to know. I have to turn these off 500,000 times a day. All right, turn off that. Turn that off. Close this out. All right. That looks good. That very what should happen, maybe. Okay. Agreed. 01/13/25, full moon in Cancer. Oh God, we got a full moon. Tell me, does full moon dump or does new moon dump? Does full moon pump or does new moon pump? I don't know the rules. Bringing back these charts up. All right, so these are the estimated U.S. holdings, 207,000 Bitcoin, estimated value of USD reserve, about $19.5 billion. This is the chart. This is the 207 Bitcoin, and this is the price. So pretty cool stuff. But over here, we can go and take a look at some other stuff. Let's go to indicators. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fear and greed chart. This is actually a pretty cool chart. It actually plots the fear and greed onto the chart as a chart, which is pretty cool. So fear and greed currently sitting at a 61, which I believe is still technically greed, not quite neutral. But we're getting there. We'll probably start getting into the orange. So historically speaking, these reds, when we get down to extreme fear, absolute best time to buy. 100% best time to buy. And we see the fear is still pretty good. Then we come up, get into that greed, sell off. Extreme greed, sell off. Extreme greed, get into that sell off. So pretty cool chart, just plots the every single Bitcoin fear and greed, and currently we sit at a 61. Crypto reminds me of bipolar depression. Every once in a while we pump mania, but for the most part we dump depression. That's funny. Jake Fagan, hope you're doing well. Bit innuendo. To Luna Magica. No. New moon on the 29th. New moon dump. Oh, new moon is a dump. Okay. The most notable planetary alignment will be the sextile between Mercury and Virgo and Mars and Cancer at 11:42. Okay. Good night, all. Have a great week. Good night, Retro Mike Tech RMT. Hope you have a great week as well, sir. Hope you have a great week. Goodbye. Good night. Go ahead and say, let's leave a mad emoji for Retro Mike Tech. All right. So pretty cool stuff there. We can go to, let's go back to indicators. We can take a look at the thermocap. So these are just charts. We're just doing charts. Things that say, look at me. I also found out that there's different ways I can build charts in TradingView that might just up the game a little bit. All right. All right, so thermocap, we can see that when this thing spikes is when we get our tops in our markets. This one was really going to spike, but this one kind of died off a little bit. This was the last bull run. This just adds more checks to my this was not the cycle top, that we are still in this cycle and that we are about to top here soon, or we're gonna top at some point soon this year, maybe early this year. We'll see. We're getting close to toppy top zone. but I also think we send it before we get to the top. Cycle repeat. So this will just overlay the cycles on top of each other so you can kind of see where we are in relation to previous cycles. Phenomena. If it'll load. There it is. Oh, that's not the one that I picked. Which one is this? Oh, this is cycle How is this cycle repeat? Oh, yeah, this one was pretty cool. Okay, so it's not the same as the other one. I know the other one. All right, so this one, funny enough, so let me just read what the so this chart takes price movements of the past 1,458 days and repeats those movements again to predict the price on each day over the coming 1,458 days. It also displays the previous after having top price as well as the top after each upcoming halving. Excuse me. The future 1,458 day projection should be taken only as estimates. The entire chart's accuracy depends on Bitcoin's behavior to repeat itself perfectly. There are many reasons why Bitcoin might over or underperform its previous 1,458 day behavior. This chart should be viewed as theoretical only. Now, what is interesting about this chart is, so it called the top here. It said the top was going to come in here, and it got the top pretty close. And it said it was going to be $106,000. Now, if we push that forward, we pretty much just topped at $108,000. So the question for me is, have we already topped? Are we close to the top? And that we've got a little more to go because this kind of overshot the last cycle. So did the stock to flow. But that would mean that the top would also have already come in, or it should be coming in sometime this year, just like this one did. It says top here, but then we had higher prices to go. So we could top here, come back down to the 200 day moving average, and we also, and that could be the top for us, or we put in that top that I showed you earlier, and that's it. Then we go into a bear market, bear cycle, and then we come back up and we top around $270,000. So according to this, who knows, just thought it was cool, something cool to look at. I do want to compare bull markets. That's the one. That's the one I was thinking of earlier. So this one will overlay the bull markets days since price breakout, and you can see where we are right now. We are we still have a good bit of the market to go if we are to continue to follow the other cycles. We still have a good bit to go before we put in our top, if we haven't already put in our top. But I say good bit, but not much longer, really, when you really think about it. Not much longer. Maybe Q1, Q2 this year, and then we go into a bear market. But I'll be looking for that price for the chart to start really tilting more to the upside, as far as like the angle of the parabola. I want to start seeing that thing take a sharp turn to the upside to kind of give us a good indication that we are heading towards the end, or we are at the end. Stock to flow ratio. Stock to flow, stock to flow. I don't think that's what I want. I think it's this stock, just the stock to flow chart. STF value. We still set to hit the 120,000 range before going down. I think so. 115 to 120. So here's our stock to flow. Day since having. Typically, or not typically, but What this does is, the closer you get to the halving, it turns all these colors. Starts with red, goes orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, and then that's the end. That's to the halving. So when it starts getting into blue, the closer to the halving you become. So stock to flow. What is stock to flow? So the stock to flow is a number that shows how many years at the current production rate, so the current production of blocks, are required to achieve the current stock. So the higher the number, the higher the expected price. Why does the chart use a 463-day time span? Precision Spicic, I don't know, came up with the number of 463 time span because he believed Bitcoin cycles happen in 3 phases: the bull run, the correction, and the reversion to the mean. He estimates there are about 200,000 blocks per cycle. There are 3 phases per cycle, and there are roughly 144 blocks per day. So that math works out to this number here. And then we get the plot put on the chart. Now the stock to flow looks like it's a little behind. Looks like it's not keeping up with the 463-day thing that they had on here. So yeah, if it was to keep up, that thing would really need to ramp up. But then you start pushing towards $1 million. I don't know about all that. Not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I don't really know about that. So this site's pretty cool. You can look at the new pool, realized price. I mean, there's so many different charts on here that I do want to go over on a regular basis, and we'll get into that, further down the line. Do you think we still get a big drop in Bitcoin dominance for an altcoin season? Well, a big drop in Bitcoin dominance would mean that we are getting an altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance looks like it wants to move to the upside a little bit, which is good because that helps fit my bias that we are short-term bullish, very short-term bullish, until we get up to that $98,000, $99,000 range, and then we gotta be careful. I'm probably gonna fire off a short at that point. So if I go back to this chart and I think I had it on the index chart. Yeah, let's come back. Let's come over here. Let's click on this. Let's go to the index chart. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. If I just turn it on, there we go. So if we are to get the throwback like this, big old bouncy move down or droppy move down, okay? This does lend us the potential for a big run. So if this is what we get, okay, we get something like this. And let's say altcoins hold up, okay? Or a lot of altcoins hold up. Bitcoin then ramps up for the rest of the year, okay? Rest of the year goes ballistic. Just straight up move to the upside. This gets us into November, December, which could be a good time to top for Bitcoin. That would be right around the 4-year cycle end. So if we do get something like this, then altcoin season, this big run up, a lot of the altcoins are going to run with Bitcoin in this run up, okay? Then Bitcoin will crash, okay? It'll take out this low here, probably come down to these highs over here, right? And then it'll get a bounce. And in this bounce will be when altcoins, all the laggards that haven't put in their all-time highs yet, that haven't broken significant market structure that are going in and putting in blow off tops, that retracement into Bitcoin's retracement, those blow off tops going into Bitcoin's retracement, that is the top of the market for everything, which could be Q1 of 2026. And then that's when everything really rolls over. Bitcoin, altcoins, everything. Now, it is interesting how everything is moving up at the same time that the Dixie's moving up. We can see that the Dixie is currently pushing to the upside even more. More pushy to the upside. We are back at Friday's high, it looks like. Let's go down to the hourly. Yeah, we are back at Friday's high. We just clipped it, trying to push a little bit higher. So this is technically bearish, but as of late, I mean, when you zoom out, we can see the Bitcoin and stocks and everything, and the Dixie on a macro time frame have all been bullish since the bottom in 08 or 09, whenever it was. Ever since we entered our secular bull market, the dollar, stocks, gold, crypto, everything has been bullish. If you would have just started buying in 2009 and just kept buying all of these years for the past 14, 15 years, no doubt in my mind you would be a multi-millionaire right now. Now, what you need to do, what we need to do, and what we are going to do is during the next secular bear market, which secular just means big macro, multi-year bear market, secular bear market, usually about 3 years, 3 to 5 if we're having a really bad time, but usually about 3 years of a bear market. That is, and the bottom of that bear market is going to be what sets us up for the next 10 to 20 year bull run. So if we miss out on this one, there's very good chance that going into the bear market and we go bearish for a few years, those will be the absolute best times to buy. And within 5 years after that, if you bought during those times, if you have enough dry powder on the side, or even if you just start investing a little bit every single week, I think that you will be doing very, very well in the next 5 to 10 years. Very, very well. So just remember that. Have a long-term outlook, and you will do well in investing and trading. Not financial advice, but just my opinion. The markets go up and to the right over time. That's all I know. So you just got to know. It's just all about when are you going to buy. Are you going to buy at the highs or are you going to buy at the lows? So make sure you buy at the lows. And we'll show you that. Or we'll be here for you for whenever that happens. Some of us are old. Yeah, I'm old, and in 10 years I'll be almost 50. But guess what? I'll be retiring 15 years before I could even file for retirement. So I would still be retiring before I'm 50, before my last kid's even out the door. Elliott Wave has XRP going to 320 before inauguration, possibly this week. So also HBAR, yeah. I'm big on XRP. I'm bullish on XRP, rather. Super bullish on XRP. Looking pretty good. I actually took a trade over the weekend, or at some point. I took a trade at some point. I think after we broke when we broke here, I went ahead. Actually, it was before we broke. It was down here because it was like 230 or 228. I got in right down here. I sold everything up in here. Whoops. Sold everything up in here. And now I am looking to potentially get in at a lower price. We'll see. Is it going to be a triangle, or are we going to get a little bit of a flag, or is it going to be more like follow this down to come back down and back test that previous resistance and flip it into support? But we also have this macro trend over here that we could come down to, something like this, right down to $2.37, right back to previous support, and then off and away we go. Back up to the highs. Now that would be January 21st, right here. January 21st, right here. So let's go ahead and zoom out a lot more so we can see what that even looks like on a macro scale. There we go. So yeah, I could definitely see us getting up there, breaking that. Let's go ahead and place a vertical line on the January 21st date. So there's inauguration day. We can see how fast XRP can move. And this is what I'm talking about. This little move down like this, and then boom, run up. Let's take a bars pattern, take this move right here, and then just place this right here. Let's do the very bottom of this range. That measurement, is this even nope. Do it like this. Oh, come on now. It's pretty close. But if we just go from here where they potentially meet, that could get us over $5 by inauguration day if we had the same move as we did here. Like, is it impossible? Absolutely not, because it's XRP, and this is what XRP does. It moves like wildfire. That's bad. I shouldn't have. It's bad timing on that one. It moves it moves like a something. Like a NASCAR. I don't know. F1 Formula car. I don't know. It goes fast, all right? It goes fast. So yeah, over $5 potentially. Maybe not, but anything could happen considering Brad Garlinghouse just had dinner, and Stuart Alderati, the legal counsel for Ripple, just met with President Trump for dinner. So it is potential that we could see that move to the upside. But yeah, this is not in my favor in my genes. Yep, 10 years from now, I might be dead. Sorry. Set it up for your children and grandchildren, okay? It's possible, but 340 is more realistic. 5.2 is the next level after. Realistic? What do you... I don't like to use words like realistic unless it's like super, super not realistic. Like SHIB going to $1 or something. 350 is the 1.618. Of this range right here, so I could definitely see that. I'm on Blowfin, so I'm gonna have to actually go to a chart, whoops, that has more data. Maybe the Bitstamp chart. The XRP conspiracy theorists are looking galaxy brain these days. Oh yeah. Ain't that right? Oh yeah, you can't see my chart. I'll share it in a sec. If I can see what I'm looking for. I need to go to the weekly chart. There we go. All right. Come on, Bitstamp, show it all. Thank you. All right, so Bitstamp on the weekly. Let's move this up. Move this over. Broke out of that big range, so the next level is about 331. That's the old all-time high. Breaking out of that would get us up to the 1.618 at about $5.29. So don't say it's not possible. That's all I gotta say. Don't say it's not possible. There's a good chance, very good chance, that the top is coming in soon for XRP on the weekly. And yeah, that's when I would be looking. I'm not seeing any bearish divergences. I think we could see a little more upside on XRP. Like maybe a lot of more upside, maybe even to that $5 mark. It moves fast, man, and it can move fast and move high. So just don't be surprised if it does get up to the $5 mark. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised. Very, very good chance. So think we could be seeing an XRP new all-time high for the first time since 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. So long time coming for XRP hodlers, that is for sure. And you know, this is their chance to get out, and I know a lot of them personally that are going to be getting out or getting a lot out at that $5 mark. So hey, that's all I know. I also know that there's a chance it could go to $5.89, $5.89, that is. And we do have a measured move target for that. So, but that was in another stream. We can go back over that another time. The invisible cup. It's actually not invisible because then you would be able to see me, but oh well. Anyways, thank you all for joining me this evening for another live stream of Markets After Dark, where we go mad on the charts Sunday through Thursday night, 11 p.m. to midnight. I did not go much into the ES and other stuff, but oh well. I'm already past time, so we can go over a bunch of other stuff tomorrow. I wanted to show you guys those charts, that BitBo thing that I thought was pretty cool. So if y'all want to, y'all can check that out. Pretty cool charts on there. And but yeah, just make sure that you come back to the Piper Academy Network tomorrow morning. Hopefully BC Port Corp will be here tomorrow morning for the Good Morning Crypto Show, bright and early. I believe that one's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll follow that up with the morning market report with Army Piper and the OC guy at the market open, 9:30 a.m. And then following that, we have Trade Academy with Trader Joe or Trade Intuition at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Crypto Nightcap with TradeFly and FD White. Then we'll be right back here at night for Markets After Dark, where we go mad on the charts. I'm Lunar Beaches Crypto, aka David, aka LBC, place to be. And I'm signing out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Mad love. Peace out.
Welcome to the night where we light up the spark. We're trading crypto, finance, you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dark, that shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trends, see future in sight. It's Markets After Dark. financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge be showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the mother lode. Economic loops and the way the dollar flows. Community vibes where everybody grows. Analyzing trends while the world lays low. Markets after dark where only brilliant shows. Hit that subscribe and join the ride. In the world of finance, where fortunes collide. Lunar's path will be your guide through the market storm or the market tide. On the charts with Lunar's bright light, crypto markets soaring through the night. From big tone markets soaring fast, markets after dark are shattered ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright light. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trend, see the future in sight. It's markets after dark, the financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge be showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the